So this will be the beginning of a project that I've been planning for way too long. And I finally decided that I just need to commit to it and do it. I'm gonna start building a trailer. And this is gonna be a pretty simple trailer. It's just gonna be pretty much like a 4x6 box. And I'm gonna have like the provisions to put a rooftop tent on it, which I don't know exactly when that will actually happen. But I'm building it with that in mind. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna show you guys my very simple design, and then I'm gonna start cutting up some metal, and I'm gonna start gluing some metal together. So this is what I'm working with. So that's kind of the end design goal there. There's a lot of chicken scratch all over this stuff, just kind of showing some ideas of how I want to set this up. And we'll see how it actually ends up coming out. It is going to be a solid axle. I originally wanted to do with independent suspension, but those independent suspension setups are just a little bit out of my price range. And my goal is to have this for Overland Expo this year, which is a long ways off, so I shouldn't have a problem there. So for the tongue, I have this 9-foot 2x2, and all this is 11 gauge steel. And then I have a bunch of other 2x2s that are for the rest of the frame that I need to cut to length. And then I have a 2x4, and that's going to be the rear bumper. I'm going to put a hitch receiver on both the front end and the rear end, and that's going to be the spine of the entire trailer. And the point of that will be that the aft of the trailer is as reliable as a hookup point for recovery purposes as the front is. So if I have to pull the trailer backwards out of something, or if I have to hook onto somebody else, right, and without disconnecting my trailer to yank them out of something simple, I can just use the back end of the trailer as well. I do want to say that I'm building this completely based off of I mean, I've been researching this for a long time. Like I said, I've been planning this for far too long. But I'm building this based off of completely what I've read online, talking to people that have built trailers and stuff like that. I by no means know what I'm doing, right? I'm confident in my own capability and kind of the risk that I'm taking by doing this myself. But I've not done this before, so I don't want anybody to think that this is like a how-to. I'm just showing my process. I feel like maybe this is a very ambitious endeavor, but you know, we're gonna see where this ends up. Okay, so just as an example, I've just kind of got this little laid out here, just to give you an idea. So there's the tongue, and then there will be a 2x2 receiver welded onto the end of that, so extend it out a little bit further. So from this point here to there is 3 feet, making the entire ridgeline of this about 9 feet. And that's allowing for, by the way, so here's the rear bumper. I'm going to cut into the rear bumper, and these will sit kind of inside the rear bumper, and they'll be welded into place there like that. And then, of course, the ridge line itself will actually kind of go all the way through, because the receiver is going to be attached on this end as well. So there'll be another receiver on the back. And that'll be the little 4x6 frame. And then there'll be another 2x2 straight across the middle. And then the little 1x1s will be bracers in between each of those. Not the cleanest cuts, not the straightest cuts. But now you can see, so this will be the rear bumper, and the frame will go that way, right? And then this will be the rear tongue, and then this one right here. And like I said, not the cleanest or straightest cuts. I'm also by no means a professional. And I'm less than comfortable at a grinder at best. At the risk of damaging the lens of my GoPro, having it too close to the grinder like that. I hope I got some good shots with that. There's some little divots in the lens of my camera now. Whoops, didn't think about that. Couple tack welds to put this piece together. I'm just trying to work on these arms and put the other one together as well so I can start lining things up. I'm not going to fully weld things until things are lined up properly in case I need to cut something off or knock it off or whatever. That's still little enough weld that I can manipulate it if I need to. Should hold it square. A total of 6 tacks. I think we're good there. So these are the outer parts. These are the outer parts of the frame, and building them on the ground against my will. I tried and tried and tried to find a way to set them up on my tiny little welding table. I just couldn't get it to work. So figured I'm just wasting time trying to avoid a simple solution. Might as well just do it. Okay, so there's those 2 legs. Now we can kind of start to line things up. This is kind of the most important part of the trailer. It's you want to make sure that's as square as you can get. It needs to be perfectly square. Because with that being perfectly square, it's going to make lining everything else up much easier. Especially for putting the axle on it, you don't want that to be off or crooked, because that thing's going to be pulling down the highway behind your vehicle going 60 plus miles an hour, so it needs to be straight. It needs to track. So okay, a moment of self-pride. So not welded on yet, but there's the tongue receiver right there, right? And then the spine goes all the way back. Then there's those notch cuts that I made in the rear bumper, as you can see. So this will be the top of the rear bumper, and then all that fits right where I notched it. A little bit crooked, but we can fix that. And then right here, here's the joint. Measured out good. So if I take a square, and put it in any one of these corners, it lines up evenly and doesn't click around in there. And I mean, I haven't final fitted these things in here, but it's still already fitting good and snug. Oh, the camera angle's awful, I'm sorry. Good and snug in all those corners. So as you can see, this receiver will come out the back end right here, and it'll also be attached to the spine. And it'll go all the way through, so that's going to be a hookup point that's going to be as reliable as the front, hopefully. That's my intention. And these won't stick out, but they'll be welded on the back side to the rear bumper. And I don't know how absolutely ridiculous I look with this on. Just don't want to take it off yet. So now where I'm at with this, I need to weld on those receivers to see exactly where they're going to go. The rear one is going to be the most, let's say, crucial, because I can adjust the front one in and out as much as I need to. Uh, but I set the rear one, and that's going to be kind of where the length of the tongue is set. And then once that's set, then I can start welding in the pieces to the rear bumper and also the tongue and the spine. And then once all that stuff's welded in, then I'll put in that first cross member, and then the subframe from there will pretty much be complete. My axle should be delivered tomorrow while I'm recording this, whatever tomorrow means. And I'm still trying to source some leaf springs for this. I'm trying to go with some like CJ leaf springs or YJ or XJ leaf springs. They're kind of long, so I might even have to attach the rear shackle for those, like to the rear bumper of this trailer. I'm trying to find something shorter, but trailer leaf springs are just too stiff, so they'll just bounce and stuff. I need something softer. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of at a standpoint now. I gotta process this information in my head and kind of figure out exactly how I want to set that rear receiver. That's all I'm going to do for now, and then just got to finish up the subframe from there, like we already talked about. So kind of just rambling now and get to it.